Alright, so in this video we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these options up here, including hiding fields, filter, group, and sort. Um, if you're joining us from the last video, you can notice that I entered in a bit more data, and I did that in all these tabs, and that was mostly just to kind of give you a better example of what this is capable of. But so for right now, let's take a look at hidden fields and a quick refresher. So we have a main view, which is what we always look at, or the main view that we will be looking at to search, and data, that will be the one where you you just paste in all your data. So, but let's say we want a view where we just want to look at see who has dietary restrictions. Now we could do a filter and filter that out, but because this table is live, anyone else viewing it on their phone would also see it. Would just automatically filter out to just dietary restrictions, which we don't want in our main view. We want everyone to be able to search. So let's just say, and let's say this is something we look at a lot. So we're going to create a new grid view of just dietary restrictions. So let's say diet. Now we can obviously adjust that to wherever we think it's important. And since for this one, we're just looking at the diet, I'm just going to go ahead and hide all the fields and then turn on dietary restrictions. And let's see here, what's next? Okay, so then we want to filter it out because most of our delegates don't have any dietary restrictions, but there's some that have gluten or veggie or vegan. So we're going to go ahead and do a filter. And you can filter based off of any of these columns that you have. And so even though, like in this case, we're looking at dietary restrictions, I could still filter based off of like delegation. But we're not going to do that for now. So we're just going to look at diet. And then there's a bunch of different options here. Hopefully you know how to use those. But in this case, we want people who are vegan, vegetarian, or gluten-free. So we're going to pick has any of. And then we're just going to pick which ones we want. And so now we have a view, and we can see who exactly has dietary restrictions and what they actually are. Now next is, okay, maybe this is, a little bit unsorted, so we can add I'm sorry, let's go back here really quick. So that's just one filter. So let's say you can add, I think, as many filters as you want. So let's say at this particular case, I want to look at just who's in my delegation who's a vegetarian. And so now it'll show that. And if you want to just take a look at that really quick and then go ahead and we don't need my delegation anymore. So let's just show everyone. You just X out right there. And then, but let's say for whatever reason we want it to be a little bit nicer looking. One of the first things we can do is do a sort, and then again, you can sort on any field, dietary. You can go A to Z or Z to A, and just go ahead and click apply, and it, very easy. So now it's easy to see who does what. And actually, we could probably even do a sort. So we want to sort by dietary, and then let's say their name. Oh, they're already in order. So that's just one way to sort. Now this works, a lot better. Or a lot easier, or it's a lot more useful in a situation where you have a ton of information like this. So let's say right now there's a lot of data here, and it's sort of all jumbled, and it would be a lot nicer if we could sort it so it makes sort of sense. So a couple of the things you might want to do is let's sort it by our delegation. Delegation, first, last, apply. So now we have a list of, I have all my delegates in order, so it's very quickly to look up. You can find whatever you want. But then maybe we want, instead of delegation, let's do, because we're in Sacramento right now, let's say, I want to see who's all in ConCon. So now all the ConCon delegates are right next to each other. And again, one of the things you can do is you can combine these all together. So let's say, I don't need to have my advisor info in this view because it's the delegates tab. So I can sort by program area, but then filter out where, let's say, program area is not advisor. So now that'll just show me, my delegates and, where they are in a particular program area. The last thing is this group tab, which is actually very useful. It's a sort, but a sort where you can like layer it. For example, let's go ahead and take out this sort. All right. And so with group, let's say I want to know who's in which program area, but I want to do it by the delegation. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's say first group, I'm going to pick a field. In this case, it's delegation. And it, okay, so right now you can see that it sort of gives each delegation its own like little tab here. And it tells you, okay, in Irvine we have 5, mission 8, so on and so forth. But then you can keep going deeper and deeper in these levels. So I want to go by delegation, but then program area after that. So now this tells me, okay, in Irvine we have, 1 in Apellicourt, then all our IAC kids, and then Ledge House, and then we go to, Mission. And so it breaks it down individually. Now this functionality is, it's definitely online, obviously, as we're looking at it right now. It's not quite, it doesn't look like this exactly on the mobile app, which we'll get to in a few videos. But I do believe if you have it grouped like this, it sorts like this. So it would be similar to a sort in the sense of, and I'm going to go ahead and just take out the groups and sort it. So as you can see, so what I just did here was I undid the groups and just did the group, what we were just doing as a sort. So I sorted by delegation and then program area. And this is sort of how you would see it on the phone or on the mobile app. And let's see. But that's sort of basically all for, these 4 little options here. And, being able to use them in conjunction with each other makes this really powerful. And that also makes, you can have as many different views. So if, maybe you have one with family groups or whatever, you can, sky's sort of the limit. There's this option here, color, I've never used because it's a pro plan type thing. So I don't really know too much on it. This is, let's see, this particular option. So if you want to share this grid, we'll do a whole video on sharing and how to like share this particular view and stuff. But that's what you would do there. And then this little tab here. So this deals with the view. So let's say, okay, over here, your dietary restrictions view. Let's say, okay, we decide we don't need this anymore. So there's a couple of things you can do. Or let's say, I want to send this off to someone, so I can download this as a CSV file so that someone else can open it in Excel or, Google Sheets. You can duplicate this view if needed, so on and so forth. But in this case, oh wait, where was delete view? So we don't need this anymore, so we're going to go ahead and just delete that view, and, it takes itself away from here. But I think that's really pretty much about all for this video, so we'll see you on the next one.